Creation of the internet, every industry has been turned upside down. Amazon changed retail. Uber changed transportation. YouTube changed video forever. With the invention of crypto, money is next. At the speed technology is growing, the future of money and securities are digital. 9 out of 10 millennials do not trust banks. The value of money relies on trust. Government debt is higher than it's ever been before. Central banks continue to print money. Fortunately, the world has a new solution. Experts predict in 7 years, 10% of the world's economy will be in crypto-based assets. Today, 1 billion people have access to the financial industry. Crypto is about empowering the other 6 billion people by banking the unbanked. Do not underestimate this. Do you wish you invested in Google, Amazon, or Netflix before anyone ever knew about them? $1,000 invested in Netflix turned to over $500,000. At Token Metrics, we help you find the next Netflix. Token Metrics users think differently about investing. They are early adopters looking for financial freedom. They are people who see a better world. A world without international borders. We believe in a world where everyone has access to the next financial revolution. At Token Metrics, we are creating a bridge that gets you to that revolution. We will help you make sound investments in this new world. The world's best investors do not rely on their intuition. They embrace technology and AI to invest. Token Metrics uses AI to find invisible patterns in data to help you invest and trade in crypto. In the past, we have used our data-driven system to achieve financial freedom. Now, we are giving you the keys. We created Token Metrics to be the only platform you'll ever need to make money in crypto. We give you AI and access to crypto experts at the best price. The moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond.
Disclaimer. Token Metrics Media LLC does not provide individually tailored investment advice and does not take a subscriber's or anyone's personal circumstance into consideration when discussing investments, nor is it registered as an investment advisor or broker-dealer in any jurisdiction. Information contained herein is not an offer or solicitation to buy, hold, or sell any security. The Token Metrics team has advised and invested in many blockchain companies. A complete list of their advisory roles and current holdings can be viewed here at tokenmetrics.com/disclosures.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the show. Happy Easter. Hope you're all having a great Easter weekend. Bill, how's it going? Forrest, how's it going? Welcome.
Hi, happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and we have quite the show. So today's show, let me pull up the screen here. Altcoin rally. Is this the next leg up, the next wave? Ethereum all-time high and top altcoins to watch in April. We'll have Bill with his legendary market update. Forrest with his new show, Hidden Gems. We'll try to share with you Hidden Gems our team has been checking out this week, and then we'll answer any questions you have for the AMA. Be sure to follow us everywhere online, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on the podcast, on Facebook. And if you have any questions for the AMA, go to menti.com. That's MENTI.com. Use the code 50261009. That's 5026109. All right. So let's see. Happy Easter, John. How are you? Happy Easter, Crypto Discover. So the first person on the stream was James Locker. What's up, family? Great to have you here. All right. So let's go to the next slide here. So just give me 1 second. And thank you all for the feedback on the indicator. So far, so good. Lots of people love the indicator. If you missed it, we just launched the Visual Trends Indicator on tokenmetrics.com. Go check it out. We think this is really the next way to really give customers even more value, because now on any altcoin, you can go there, and Bitcoin as well, you can go there and see when it's turning bullish or bearish. So if you missed the last live streams, go check them out. We had 2 live streams, one on Wednesday and one on Friday, diving deep into the Visual Trends Indicator. Okay, so on the agenda for today, as mentioned, let me bring this back up. So we have market update with Bill, hidden gems with Forrest, question of the day, thought of the week, crypto showdown. We'll compare 3 altcoins we think have some potential, and we'll tell you which ones we think will have the best April. Then we have Cryptotherapy. Call in any questions you have. Number is 1-888-908-6536. Call in, drop a voicemail with any questions you have in crypto. Obviously not financial advice. Then we'll answer a question from the forum, and we'll go into the AMA. Okay, all right. So time for the best market update in the business. So let's bring up your screen, Bill. Give me 1 sec. Okay, Bill, take it away.
Hi, everyone. Happy Easter. Let's begin with Bitcoin. Bit of a broken record on this. I did take a page from my colleague Forrest, and I used a log scale to smooth out the prices. And then I drew a lot of colorful outside the box Gann and Fibonacci circles. And I came up with something very interesting. That 57K is kind of an inflection point. And even if Bitcoin moves sideways near 57K, it's going to be what I would call a sideways breakout. I don't see any reason why Bitcoin can't go to 80K. I don't see any reason why Bitcoin can't go to 167K. I know that's a little bit much, but let's go to Ether. I didn't put the entire picture here because I think we've said it over and over. In this particular case, with Ether hanging around 2,000, Forrest ending one of our client meetings the other day going, guys, I hate to tell you this, but ETH's going up. And I was like, wow, I better do my math again. Sitting here looking at it, if ETH holds 2,000, it's 2,800 minimum, and I think it could go way beyond that. And here's why. People who have been listening to this show for at least a year have been hearing me talk about the cup handle formation in Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Translated into English, Ethereum is so absurdly undervalued versus Bitcoin, and there is an incredible chart formation that has been very, very difficult to trade over the last, say, 6 to 10 weeks. But it's finally starting to turn. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means ETH versus Bitcoin could go from 0.036 if it breaks out to 0.09. Why don't we just make it 0.1? Right? That could mean 120,000 Bitcoin and ETH at 6,000. This chart justifies a bigger price target for ETH. Now, is it a gradual rally? Do other coins go first? I don't think the small coins going first. I think, again, one of my colleagues pointed out that we may be going into big altcoin season. So ETH is going to move. It's just a question of which other big coins move first. Let's talk about the valuation of the whole crypto space using our virtual trends indicator. I like to look at the low frequency because that gives fewer signals and served us very well when it came to ETH and not puking out longs when they somehow magically broke below 1,700 support. Notice here, Uni, no sell signal on recent volatility. None. Okay. Uniswap, even though version 3 was allegedly disappointing. Why no sell signal? I'm guessing the value of the whole space via the Coinbase IPO. Uniswap, Coinbase, and the plumbing of the crypto system is worth a lot. Looking at TA on Uni, 25 held on the down move. I don't see any reason why, if the up move continues, why it couldn't go to 40. It seems like everybody gave up on this. Okay. This is mislabeled. This is the trend indicator for 1 inch, which is another coin that everyone is like, oh no, why isn't it moving? With the trends indicator, you want to get in early before the hockey stick or the moon. I'm guessing that if Bitcoin and ETH take off and Uni goes, 1 inch will go with it. If you look at the chart of 1 inch, it has lulled you to sleep. It has done what bull markets do, right? There's either it goes all the way up and you lay awake at night because you missed out, or you sit and watch paint dry and it's hurry up and wait and you get frustrated. I think 1 inch is doing the frustration trade to people. Okay. Here is the low frequency indicator for 1 inch. Again, there have been some false signals, but when you catch it right, this could be a big move, because the next move could be about bigger coins, the future of money, and the value of the whole space. Speaking of the future of money, yes, I know. I won't shut up about it. The only guys who like it are the guys over at, Dash's Twitter. Dash up 15% today. Noticing on the virtual trends indicator, the last time, it went from 90 to 300 when it was a signal. I like to look at this and give you the signals early, because that is the new game at Token Metrics. Well, there's a lot of games at Token Metrics, but the TA game is matching up charts with common sense with the visual trends indicator to give you, our audience, the best research possible. Now, why is this an important signal? Well, folks, as we have heard, the bigger the base, the higher into space. Dash has been trading between 0 and 200 since the middle of 2018. Recently, Dash popped up above the base and came back and retested it over, say, the last 5 weeks. Today's rally looks like a lot, but in fact, it's nothing. Dash isn't even close to its all-time high of 1150. I don't even want to talk about where the stock market is relative to its 2017 high. Bitcoin is 2x or 3x its 2017 high. And Dash is the reserve currency of Latin America, along with the dollar. And this currency trades at 300 because Litecoin. I got a little twisted up on Litecoin. Shame on me. Bullish signal on the low frequency trading strategy indicator. Yes, folks, I'm going to draw it, and I'm just going to keep right on drawing it until the market proves me wrong. It's that whole idea of stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. That's a coiling process that leads to a big move. If this market can moon Cardano, Theta, Polkadot, associated vaporware coins that go with Polkadot, etc., then the future of money trade has got to happen before this market cycle comes to an end. Litecoin is fast Bitcoin. It's appealing to retail, and It's ridiculously undervalued in terms of its 2017 high. So again, when new people come to crypto, they're going to look at ETH. They're going to look at Litecoin. Okay, EOS, given up for dead, right? Well, once upon a time, EOS was the new hot, I don't know, EOS was like the Cardano of 2 years ago. This was the Ethereum challenger. It's now breaking out of a downward sloping wedge. This is exactly the formation that Kusama made at 21 when we were hanging out with Oh Hey Matty, where he bought it for his personal account while we were on the stream. Kusama's now at 550. I remember when EOS came out that anybody who was anybody in crypto was backing it. Regardless of what you think of it, it's got a big market cap and it's breaking out. So what do you know? It's big alt season. EOS high frequency indicator, okay, went bullish about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and it's mooning. And this could keep right on mooning. When you have a downward sloping wedge like that, when you're trying to hold the market down, once you let go, it just pops straight up. Okay. And I don't think people are expecting the type of volatility that can occur in these bigger coins. Now, let's say you didn't believe anything I just said. Let's look at it a different way. Total crypto market cap, this is charts.cointrader.pro, is approaching $2 trillion. Now, you know who knows about this and who's tracking this? The legacy media is tracking this, okay? Because at 2 trillion, you start getting in the neighborhood of some of the big tech stocks. Now, all it takes is a solid Bitcoin or ETH rally or a Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, EOS thrust higher for total market cap to take out 2 trillion. From a TA point of view, there is absolutely nobody home until 2.8 trillion. They could put $800 billion in market cap onto this market from a chart point of view easily. That's ETH 5K. That's Litecoin 1,000. Take your pick. The only question is which one goes first? You know, how do you get positioned? Can you get levered safely? Altcoin market cap. This thing went through 700 billion like it wasn't even there. The next stop is 1 trillion, right? So that's 400 billion that they could add using ETH, using, I don't know, like the whole space, like any big altcoin that has not moved could move. Like Polkadot could go to 200. I mean, if Kusama could go from 20 to 550, what stops Polkadot? I didn't take Cardano seriously when it got to $1.50. I was like, okay, that's a 10x. We're done. And I'm like, wow, maybe not. I personally think it's going to be the future of money, like Litecoin and Bitcoin and Dash along with ETH. But who knows? You know, maybe it's stuff like Ren or that Polkadot universe that takes off. At the end of the day, folks, here's the deal. You have to be involved to a certain degree. And I don't think the game anymore is the little coins, right? Theta and a lot of these other plays, maybe the NFT coins. Yes, the easy money may have been made. And the stuff that's got to do the catch-up trade, 1 inch, Litecoin, maybe Uni, right? Stuff that everyone's like, oh, that doesn't matter. The last word, friends, it does. And if crypto market cap takes out 2 trillion, something shocking may happen on the upside. And that's the market update.
Ian, you might be muted.
Okay, sorry. How about now? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So thank you, Bill. Great market update as usual. If you enjoyed that market update, be sure to smash the like button and tell a friend to tell a friend that we're live and that crypto is the future. Okay. Let's see if we have any questions here for Bill. No questions here. Okay. So, well, I think you kind of answered this question. ETH is not really underperforming anymore. All right, let's hop straight into the next segment with Forrest, Hidden Gems with Forrest. And once again, any questions you have, Minty code is 5026109. Okay, all right, Forrest, let me know when you're ready.
Yep, I'm ready right now.
Okay.
All right, so I've got 5 hidden gems. These are 5 projects that...
Forrest, could you pull up your screen? I think we lost you.
Oh. Yep, just a second here. There we go. Yeah, it kicked me out of the stream for a moment, and then I had to rejoin, but should be good now.
Alrighty, let's. All right, take it away.
All right, so these are 5 hidden gems. We've gone through over 50 projects this past week, probably more like 60 or 70, and these are the 5 projects that we think are worth keeping an eye on based on potential promise. Now, keep in mind, we haven't done full code reviews on these projects, so there's still a lot left to be analyzed when it comes to these projects. But nonetheless, they're showing promise and they're worth watching. So the first one is Super Rare. Super Rare is a digital art NFT marketplace built on Ethereum that's actually been around for just about 3 years as of, I believe, April 2nd. They just had their 3-year anniversary. It's a decentralized application built on Ethereum, as I mentioned, and it scored 89. That's very high for a fundamental analysis score. And they've already built this working NFT marketplace, but they don't have a token yet. And if a token does get launched, it's going to be very, very interesting and potentially worth investing in. Not financial advice, but what's the most interesting development about Super Rare recently is their $9 million Series A with notable investors, including Mark Cuban, Ashton Kutcher, Naval, and Chamath. Right. So these aren't pump and dump VCs. These are people who, when they put their name behind something, they believe that it's going to succeed. And they just raised a significant amount of money. So Super Rare is, like I mentioned, they don't have a token out yet, but when they do, it's going to be one to watch out for. The second is Element Finance. Element Finance is a brand new project. It's barely broken onto the radar. And there's not much available information aside from the fact that they're a DeFi protocol that's going to be focused on introducing high fixed yield income to the DeFi market. But how did this score an 85 if there's not a lot of information about it? Now, obviously, we don't have any code to review, or we can't dive into the tokenomics because they're not available yet. But essentially, Element Finance has some of the strongest backing and one of the strongest teams from any early stage market or early stage project out there right now. They recently raised $4.4 million from notable investors, including A16Z, Joseph Lubin of Consensus, Fernando Martinelli of Balancer, and Stani Kulichov of Aave. These are big names in the crypto sphere. And they also have a very, very strong team with experience, people with experience at both Consensus and MakerDAO. So this is absolutely one to watch, but it is very early on. No token launch date yet, but we'll keep you updated. Third is Rally. Rally is an open network that enables creators to launch vibrant and independent economies, or in other words, it allows people or content creators to launch their own cryptocurrency token on Ethereum, right? So it too is a decentralized application. It's actually scored an 86, and there is a token available. And when I made the slide, it was $165 million market cap. It might have gone down a little bit since this, but essentially the use case here is that a content creator can monetize their audience by launching a cryptocurrency token, and the audience is incentivized to buy their token because they can have access. If you own over a certain amount of a content creator's token, you can access a newsletter, a premium content, exclusive merchandise. The possibilities are endless. It's up to the content creator to decide what those perks may be. What's more interesting is if you invest in a content creator's cryptocurrency early, let's say you have to own 10 of their cryptocurrency tokens to have access to their exclusive content. Well, what happens when they blow up and get bigger? Well, those 10 tokens are actually increasing in value. So while it was costing you, let's say, a couple $100 to access their premium content, that couple $100 is in that cryptocurrency token that is rising in value as that content creator grows. So not only are you getting perks as an investor in somebody's cryptocurrency token, you're investing in them and their cryptocurrency and their platform as well. This is one that I'm extremely interested in because of the fact that they're tapping into people's social networks, or they're tapping into social networks, and they're tapping into content creators that have large networks. And I can see this going viral rather quickly. I'm going to talk about, we'll probably get into this with some other cryptocurrencies picks or cryptocurrency discussion later, but I'm seeing something that I'm referring to as the decentralization of the content economy. So we have DeFi, and for short, we could just call this DCon, the decentralization of the content economy. And I believe that Rally, or what Rally's trying to do, is playing into that. And what I mean by the decentralization of the content economy, we see Theta decentralizing video streaming. We see Audius decentralizing audio streaming, right? We have these projects like Rally and Drep trying to create social currencies, right? So I think that this is going to be a narrative in the market and an explosive, piece of the cryptocurrency movement, and that's the decentralization of the content economy. And Rally plays into that. Playing into that as well is Efinity. Efinity, another new cryptocurrency announcement. Efinity is going to be powered by Engine. So if you're familiar with the Engine cryptocurrency token, it's in the top 100. I believe when I checked earlier today, it was the number 56 ranked by market cap. It had a fundamental score of 87. And Efinity just seeks to be a scalable, decentralized cross-chain network on Polkadot that is designed to bring NFT tokens to everyone. Essentially, it's just an NFT blockchain similar to Flow, but it's going to be on Polkadot, and it's going to be powered by Engine. The tokenomics behind Efinity, from what I've read so far, interplay and have incentives built into the Engine cryptocurrency as well. They've recently raised $19 million. That's a lot of money from pretty notable investors, including Crypto.com Capital, Arrington XRP Capital, DeFi Alliance, and others. Last but not least is Charged Particles. Charged Particles is an ETH decentralized application that facilitates the deposit of time-locked and or yield-bearing assets into existing NFTs, adding intrinsic value. The yield on those yield-bearing assets that are being deposited into these NFTs is programmable and can be directed wherever. So essentially, your NFT is only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. But what if you could deposit yield-bearing Aave or yield-bearing DAI or yield-bearing Ethereum into an NFT and then program that yield to be directed to whoever owns the NFT? Now, all of a sudden, you can own an NFT and earn interest on the intrinsic value of that NFT. If you deposit 100 DAI into an NFT, well, that NFT is going to be worth at least 100 DAI, as well as whatever interest it's earning as well. There's not a token available yet, but they do have a fully functioning platform that looks very good so far. So I'm very interested in a code review on this platform and eagerly awaiting a token launch. And those are the projects to watch out for.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. Great job. So if you enjoyed that watch list, the Hidden Gems with Forrest, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. And let's see if we have any questions here from the audience. People talking about Binance Smart Chain. Okay, no questions at the moment. Okay, I think that was pretty straightforward. People really have a passion for economy. Omi. All right. So Lana says thank you, Forrest. Golden West says thank you, Forrest. Okay, hold on. Sorry, just one last question here. Comments are going so fast, hard to keep up with it. Okay. Hakwa says you give us one extra token. Yeah, so I mean, the idea is to give you projects before they even launch, right? To give you projects early, right? Based on feedback, our customers and audience want us to cover projects very, very early on. Okay, wow, comments going so fast. Okay, so let's now segue to the next segment. So time for question of the day. Once again, go to menti.com, menti.com. Use the code 5026109. That's 5026109. And the question of the day is, what do you think will lead the coming altcoin rally? Will it be 1, Ethereum, 2, DeFi, 3, NFTs, or 4, other? So tell us what you think. Also tell us down below in the comments what you think. Let's begin with Bill. What do you think will lead the rally for altcoins?
Okay, so here's a guess. I think if ETH went to 5,000 from here, I don't know if that would be shocking. I think people almost need to be shamed into realizing how undervalued ETH is. For example, if we talk about ETH and then the next question in the chat is about Binance Smart Chain. I think it's Binance Smart Chain, but we're not building the future of, finance content on that chain. All right. So how does the crypto market get everyone to go, I guess we should get over ourselves and buy some ETH? And I have an outside the box answer. Other. That would be Litecoin, possibly Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash. Look at your screen. Look at what it's doing. Shocking rallies, EOS even, shocking rallies in underappreciated coins are going to lead in April. And then ETH is going to follow in May. And then at the end of May, if this goes the way I think it's going to go at Memorial Day, you have the possibility of sell in May and go away. But we're a long way from that.
Okay, all right. Bill, people are saying there's an issue with your microphone. There's some crackling. Could you maybe check into that?
Is that better?
Not sure.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
Yeah, maybe just check the wire.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that feedback. Forrest, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Bill 100%. Echoing his thoughts on Ethereum, I think Ethereum could potentially be grossly undervalued right now. And again, I talked about this on Wednesday. I don't want to talk in a way that makes people feel like they need to FOMO in. Nothing here is financial advice, of course. But EIP 1559 is on the horizon. And as soon as it was announced, I believe it was March 4th or 5th that it was announced, Ethereum saw a sharp turnaround in its price. Actually, the entire market turned around after Ethereum's EIP 1559 was announced. And that's actually where the bottom of the most recent local bottom of the market actually occurred. It's March 4th or 5th, I believe. EIP 1559 essentially decreases the incoming supply of Ethereum. Now, we don't really have anything in terms of Ethereum to compare that to, but we do have it in terms of Bitcoin. And whenever Bitcoin's incoming supply decreases, it gets halved. And the entire market goes crazy. It goes parabolic. It sparks the bull run every 4 years, every time it gets cut in half. This has never happened before Ethereum before. And to my knowledge, the incoming supply of Ethereum will potentially be deflationary at times, right? So I don't think the market yet understands or is pricing that into Ethereum's price. And as we move closer to a EIP 1559's date in July, I think the market's going to get more confident that there's less risk of the market crashing before we get there. It's going to start pricing that in, and Ethereum's going to start running.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. And okay, so I would say I agree as well, right? So out of all the options here, I feel like for DeFi to really rally, Ethereum has to rally, right? And I think NFTs as well. NFTs are pretty much happening on Ethereum. I would say maybe also Flow, but for the most part, Ethereum. So I think, as Forrest just mentioned, I think with Ethereum becoming deflationary, now Ethereum technically could become even more scarce than Bitcoin, which is pretty crazy, right? So for those who don't know, pretty much with a new improvement proposal coming in July, Ethereum will be burning Ether with transactions. So Ethereum technically long term would become a better store of value than Bitcoin, right? So for all the Bitcoin maximals out there, this is why I'm very, very bullish on Ethereum. Plus, you add on ETH 2.0 coming in the next 1 to 2 years. So to me, this is pretty much a no-brainer. I think once July comes, Ethereum will become more scarce, and people will begin FOMOing into Ethereum. All right, so let's see what the audience has to say. All right, so the audience has voted, and they chose Ethereum as well. And first, runner-up was NFTs, and third, DeFi. Okay, tell us what you think. Do you think the audience was right? Post down below. Okay, let's go on to the next segment. Thought of the week. Do you think the Bitcoin ETF will get approved by the SEC in 2021? The options are 1, yes, I can see that happening. 2, no, I don't think so. 3, I'm not sure. Bill, what do you think about the SEC approving an ETF this year?
Okay, well, if this isn't about Bitcoin anymore, if my mic is working, if they approve a Bitcoin ETF, then they've got to approve an ETF for all crypto, DeFi, etc. Right? So it's not just about that. Now, I would prefer as a crypto person that they didn't do it because it would allow players like the Fed to short the ETF and never have to actually touch the crypto market itself, right? GLD is the vaporware of the gold market. That's the gold ETF. So I don't think they're going to do a Bitcoin ETF because I think there's so many other ways to play. And if they do it for Bitcoin, they're doing it for the whole space.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Forrest, what do you think?
When it comes to the SEC, it's a little bit out of my wheelhouse and out of my depth, but what I will say is I think the demand is there. I think people want Bitcoin. People want crypto. I've only seen it growing. I've only seen it growing. There's more and more people within my personal network that have reached out to me about crypto, and people that would surprise you, people that I would never have imagined would be interested in crypto are now interested in crypto. It's getting out there, and I think the demand is there for it. When it comes down to the SEC, a little bit out of my wheelhouse there.
Okay, thank you, Forrest. So I think it's very interesting with Fidelity putting their bid in for the ETF. Because I think if anybody's going to get the ETF, in my opinion, I think it has to be Fidelity. Because this is what they do, right? I mean, they have mutual funds. They've been in the business for a while. They're humongous, almost like too big to fail. So now whether that happens this year, that I'm not sure, right? So out of the 3 options we have here, I'll likely go with I'm not sure myself. But I think if anybody can do it, Fidelity has the capital, the resources, the connections, and I think the market is ready because now publicly traded companies are putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So if the SEC takes forever, they're really just behind the game. Okay, so let's see what the audience has to say. All right, wow. So the winner is yes, I can see that happening in 2021. So tell us what you think. Do you think the audience is correct? Post down below in the comments. Okay, let's go on to Crypto Showdown. So we have 3 altcoins here. And the question is top altcoin picks for April. Go to menti.com and tell us what you think. The options are the Graph, GRT, DREP, DREP, and Viberate, VIB. So, Forrest, what do you think? Out of these 3 options, which ones do you think has the most upside in April?
So I'm not intimately familiar with DREP or Vibrate in the sense of their tokenomics or exactly what their trying to accomplish. But I've looked into both of them, and DREP, which I'm not even sure if they have a token trading yet, I read is a decentralized reputation system. They're trying to be able to monetize reputation. It kind of reminds me of Rally that we just talked about, and social currency. And I really, truly believe that the next narrative that we're seeing already start to emerge, and I think it's just misleadingly getting lumped into NFTs, because NFTs is kind of leading the charge in this area, is decentralized content, or the decentralization of the content economy. And when you start talking about social currency or decentralized reputation and then being able to monetize that, I think that's a key part of this. So whether it takes off in April or not, it's extremely interesting to me. And DREP is absolutely one that I will be looking into at a deeper level going forward.
All right. Bill, what do you think?
Okay, I think Forrest is 100% right. This whole idea of like Web3, like actually coming true, right? In other words, it's not just some DeFi curiosity or guys with Pokemon cards online. It's the FANG stocks, your identity, your reputation, your social media, online, potentially combined with a token that allows for transfer of value without some monolithic big brother institution in the middle. Oh, wait, that's a monolithic big brother institution that's in bed with all the global governments. Gee, let's get rid of all that. That's what crypto's all about. So I'm with Forrest on this.
Okay. And how about from a TA perspective? If you could maybe pull up the TA for the graph.
Okay, so I just looked at the graph.
Actually, Bill, your screen is not popping up for some reason. Could you try to reshare that?
Sure. Let me try to reshare Safari here. Okay, so here's the graph. This is actually a daily chart. Now, what a lot of these oracles have been doing, Chainlink, etc., is they've been lulling everyone to sleep. Does this look like it's going to take off and explode? Not exactly, but 1inch exchange looks very similar. I think when it comes to the graph, you have to be careful of like a sequel to like the Coinbase moon effect, where, you know, if Ethereum or Dash or Litecoin or even Uni or Synthetics gets rolling again, the graph might go along with it. I don't think this is the number one narrative in crypto by any stretch. It's like a third or a fourth place, but the chart does look decent. I just think that there's more money to be made elsewhere.
All right. Thank you, Bill. So let's actually pull up token metrics and use the trends indicator. So if we go to the graph, looking at the low frequency indicator, let me actually zoom into the last 3 months because I know there was some crazy price action when they launched. So the low frequency trading indicator is bullish, just turned bullish actually on the 1st of April at $1.88. If we go to the high frequency indicator, which basically trades a lot more, let's see what this has to say. So this is also bullish on the graph. So all in all, both indicators are bullish on the graph. If we go to DREP, let's see if we have any price action here. Okay, yeah, this I think is probably too new to really have any indicators because we typically.
It looks like it actually just 1,000x'd from 2 cents to not 1,000, 100x'd from 2 cents to $2 and something.
Because it just launched this week, right? Or last week, I think. Did it? Or has it been trading for a while?
CoinMarketCap has it's been trading for the entire month of March, and it was at less than a cent for a little bit of the time.
Yeah, because looking
interesting. I'll look into it.
Yeah, so here on CoinGecko it says it's new. So if we go to the pricing history,
there we go.
Yeah, so launched on the 30th of basically on Tuesday. So yeah, that one we can't really get any data on. But looking at their current market cap, even that's unknown. So very, very speculative. I'm not sure if it's the safest investment or trade, but going to Viberate, VIB, low frequency has been bullish since November at basically 1 cent, and it's now currently at almost 12 cents. If we go to the high frequency indicator on the site, as this loads, so also bullish. So wow. So I guess we have actually let's see what the market cap is on this. 23 million. So I would say if you're looking for something very, very speculative, maybe VIB. But if you're looking for something more, I would say a safer trade, I would go with GRT. So in terms of the options we have, I think it's tough. But for me personally, I'm always going to go with the safer one because this, I'm not sure whether I would be in it. Actually, let me take a look and see what platforms they're on. So looking at this, market cap 736, market cap 23 million. If we go into markets, okay, it's on Binance. Okay, that is more reassuring. So they're definitely able to pass the Binance and OKX threshold. So actually, you know what? I'll go with VIB. I'll go with the low cap, but definitely as a trade. So me personally, if anything that's a trade, I don't put more than 1% of my capital in it because for anything over 1%, I want to make sure our team goes through and does actual fundamentals and proper due diligence on the code reviews and all that. But as a trade where fundamentals don't really matter and you practice proper risk management, I'll go with that. So let's see what the audience has decided. Okay, so and the winner is GRT, the graph. All right, so tell us what you think. Do you think the audience is right? Do you think they were wrong? Post your comments down below. Okay, let's see what people have to say here. Wow, so many chats here. Apologies, we can't keep up with everything, but we'll try. So most people were for GRT in the chat as well. Okay, so that's the winner. Let's continue on to the next segment. So time for Cryptotherapy. So if you have any question, call us toll free 1-888-90 token. That's 1-888-908-6536 and drop a voicemail. So let's see what voicemails we have. Give us a minute or so to pull up the voicemails. So I think we'll most likely take about 3 voicemails. Okay. All right, so let's see who was first. Holy cow. Too many voicemails. This segment is too popular here. Let's see what we have here. I'm trying to see. Okay, so here.
Oh, great show.
Let's go. Actually, sorry, give me 1 second. Some of these actually already answered. Okay.
Hi, guys. Don't you think the number of employees that a particular project has should figure in more prominently into how serious we take a project? It would seem to have to do with its potential to make progress. So can we get this metric more widely reported? Thanks.
Okay, good question. So the question is basically, should the number of employees in a project factor into the research or the fundamentals of that? I would say yes and no. I think it definitely is a metric to be aware of. Actually, in our analysis, it wasn't really about the number of employees per se, but more of the quality of the management team, right? So ever since 2017, we've always been looking for teams with all-star teams, right? Because people who've been there, done that before, typically are better at executing because they've already done that before, right? So for us, our definition for great team was basically people who've worked at well-known companies in the space, right? Basically, publicly traded companies. Imagine Amazon, Google, Facebook, engineers, or people who've worked for well-known projects. So imagine like an Ethereum core developer, or Bitcoin core developer, people who've worked on top 25 market cap blockchain projects and have had past success. So that's typically our criteria, not so much the size, because I mean, I think if you have 100 people on the team, that definitely filters you out as likely not being a scam. But in terms of whether or not you actually be a great project as an investment, that I'm not so sure. First, how about you? Do you factor in team size into the analysis?
No, I completely agree with you. Quality over quantity. Though it is nice when you see a project that does have, a decently sized team, whether it's 10 to 20 people. Like you said, it kind of lets you rest assured that it's probably not a scam if they've got that many employees, and they also are probably well funded. Something that I'll do on some projects, if there's only a few employees, I'll look on their hiring page and I'll see what they're currently looking, what positions they're currently looking to hire and how many they're looking to hire, and that also plays into how much funding they've received so far. So echo exactly what you said.
Bill, what do you think?
I think it's pretty easy to hire and outsource employees to make it look like you've got a better roster. I think you can have one backer like Multicoin or Galaxy Digital and let the people fall in line after you've got the backing, right? You can always hire a friends and family team and make it look real, but really it's the question of who's writing the checks.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Let's go on to the next next voicemail. Once again, just call 1-888-90 token if you have any questions you'd like to ask.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. I wanted to ask you all about Veracity. The symbol is VRA. Veracity is focused on proof of view technology, which basically authenticates that viewers of video are real people, also viewers of NFTs. This benefits advertisers because they know that viewers are real, and it benefits streamers because they get paid VRA to watch content. With all the news about influencers and companies buying fake followers and views, I believe this has huge potential. Let me know what you think. Thank you.
Okay, great question. So Veracity is not on Token Metrics or CoinGecko. So have you heard of this project first? I think it was on a watch list, right? Or in our research list?
Yeah, it's on our research list. Haven't gotten to it yet, but from your explanation of it, and I haven't done any other research into this other than what I just heard you talk about. I do think this is an important use case that you've mentioned. It's something that a lot of these decentralized streaming platforms such as Theta and Audius are it's something that they need to address, because if you're paying or if you're earning cryptocurrency for actions taken on the internet, whether it's viewing ads or listening to ads, they need to make sure that people aren't just setting up bots to earn passive cryptocurrency and scam the system. So if Veracity solves that problem, then I do see a pretty solid value proposition there.
Okay, so actually it is on CoinGecko, just had the spelling wrong. So pulling this up here. So they're currently, 41 million daily trading volume. That's definitely a lot. Lots of hype around this. So it's been trading for the last, let's see here. Okay, so it's been around since Feb 20th, so about over a month. Already up 16x in 1 month. Wow. But no current market cap. Going to the markets here. It's currently trading on KuCoin, Gate.io, and a few other small exchanges. So this looks more like a low cap altcoin. Going to the site here briefly, let's take a look. So Veracity is a protocol and product layer platform for esports and video entertainment. Okay, I see integration with YouTube, Twitch, Vimeo, all the different media networks. Roadmap. That's quite the long roadmap there. So partnership with, looks like these are investors. These aren't really investors we've heard of. Okay, so let's see here. Team. Yeah, I mean, just doing a quick, brief analysis on this, basically just on the webpage and based on the market cap. I think to me, I would view this more as a trade. Not really seeing anything that makes me want to FOMO into it right now. I'm not seeing them being backed by any well-known VCs in the space. Then, I mean, plus the media space is very, very competitive, right? So I'm not sure if this competes with Theta, right? Because Theta is also a video blockchain, and I think that's already live. Yeah, so this can't really share too much in this, but except just saying this is pretty much to me a trade. So I would personally not put more than 1% of my portfolio in this. Let's see what the audience has to say. Maybe anybody has any extra info on this project. Let's check the comments. CJ says they have a patent, I believe. Well, I think patents, honestly, in crypto, patents don't really matter. I mean, I don't really think any project has mooned and stayed mooning long term based purely on having patents, right? Because patents in crypto, I think it's honestly hype. Because long term projects that actually do well based on having great tokenomics, having great community, and having great technology. So I don't think a patent is the main incentive for me as an investor to invest into a project. I'm not saying they won't do well, but I'm saying in general, patents don't really matter. Because pretty much just go down the list of the top 50 market cap projects and see how many of them are there because of patents, right? Ethereum, Bitcoin don't really have patents. So plus Cardano, Polkadot. So patents is not really something I think that's defensible. But maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so thank you, caller. Let's go on to the next question. Bring this back up. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay.
Hi guys.
Actually,
Yep.
sorry, hold on. Sorry, already wrong voicemail.
Hey, Ian and team, I'm a new Token Metrics customer and wanted to see if you guys could do a deep dive into a new coin called the G999. It was recently rebranded from the KBC, which you guys do have on the Token Metrics site, but wanted to see if you could do a deep dive on that team and the coin, just provide a little bit of clarity. It seems like it is a huge upcoming project, but just wanted to get some professional insight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, caller. So G99, Bill, maybe could you pull that up? And let's see, because I think I've seen the name in Telegram groups, but I don't think I've seen anything else on this.
Yeah, I think they're trying to be a digital cash solution, which is very, very competitive. You've got Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash that are top 15 cryptocurrencies. You've got
Nano, your favorite?
Dash, Nano. You've got privacy coins like Monero. Again, not super familiar with the project, but I believe they're trying to be a digital cash solution, and I know that space is competitive.
All right. So looking at this on CoinGecko, Bill, let me know once you have it on your end.
Hey, do you see my screen now?
Yes, actually. Yeah. All right. So let's.
Okay. So I don't have price data. ChartX is not working. Okay. So whatever this is, it has been, pretty much mercilessly hammered back down to where it started. Now, when it comes to these small coins, I'm always interested in things that have not yet turned around. So yes, I understand that this is a totally competitive space, but I also understand the idea of either new shiny objects or objects that everyone forgot about. This may be a little bit of both. Looks like everyone kind of gave up on it. And I'm interested to see what it can do if that whole digital cash trade really gets going.
All right. Thank you, Bill. So looking at this here, almost 500,000 daily trading volume. The price is 0.006 cents No market cap currently on CoinGecko. It's down almost 60% in the last 1 month. Currently, if we go to markets, it is on Hit BTC. Yeah, so all these exchanges to me are not the best, ideally. So looking at this, so this is not an Ethereum project because the fact that there's no DEX here, like a Uniswap or 1inch. I think this is very, very speculative. If we go to the site here, let's take a look. I mean, plus the name is is very interesting. G99, one blockchain, one ecosystem, peer-to-peer electronic cash. Okay, I mean, as a trade, maybe if you like it, right, based on TA. As a long-term investment, would have to do more analysis on this, but I'm not sure I'm seeing anything unique initially. Just looking at their website. Plus, as Forrest mentioned, this space is very, very competitive. So I guess the question is, do you think the technology is better than anything out there? If you think so, then maybe it is. But that's all we have. But thank you, caller. Okay, so let's continue on to the next question. Okay, so question here is from our forum, forum.tokenmetrics.com. And the question is, hello, Tokenmetrics family. Does anyone have a realistic idea about what is going on with Super? There's no website and GitHub, hence the price goes up, and they're announcing partnerships with Injector Protocol and Matic. When you look at their Twitter comments, everyone's speaking like the platform existing and works well. Sorry, kind of hard to read this. YouTuber Elliot Trades is the leader of the project, and he's also not sharing anything about it since the token is out. I hold a very small bag, but I'm worried about all this speculation and not having a working product, as well as perfect Twitter activities and partnerships look suspicious. I hope there will be a working platform at the end so we can enjoy NFT farming. Yeah, first of all, Elliot Trades is a friend of ours, also an affiliate with Token Metrics. He's done a great job creating content in the space. We haven't done an official code review because there's nothing available on GitHub to our knowledge, so we can't really evaluate the technology. Then I think, Forrest, you recently did fundamental on this, right? Fundamental analysis on this?
I did some fundamental analysis before they actually launched their website, before they just had a landing page and a couple of blog posts, but they did recently launch. So I am due to go back and take a look at the additional information that they did provide. I know it based off of use case and team and some of the non-tokenomic type things, it did score 75, which is the threshold to be moved into code review. So I would be interested in a code review if they had a GitHub, and I really wish they did have a GitHub because it is a very hyped up project. But when you kind of combine the fact that it's a very hyped up project and it could potentially be overhyped with the fact that there's limited information about it, it makes me nervous as an investor. I'm not saying it's a bad project by any means. The use case is great. But as an investor, I'm cautious when there's limited information and a lot of hype.
Yeah, so they did launch their website, which is good. So looking at this, they have NFT drops. So, I think with most NFT projects, it's very hard to really do code reviews on them, right? Because it's more of an artistic thing. However, they are doing cross-chain NFTs and DeFi and all that stuff based on their marketing. No GitHub. So I think the fact that there's lots of hype around this, you have to treat this as a trade, not an investment, right? Until there's more information coming out. And when we say that, me personally, a trade is something where you don't really care about fundamentals. You're just basically trying to make money, but you also manage the risk by not investing a lot, right? So not putting more than at least for me personally, I don't put more than 1% into a trade, right? And I think most traders, when they trade, right, they put in typically 1 to 2% for us to bill into a trade.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So when you like the information, you have to treat everything as a trade, and I think that's how you avoid getting wrecked. But thank you for that. Let's go on to the next part of the forum or the question. Okay, give me one. Okay, so time for the AMA. So let's first close the voting. Okay, so first question for the AMA: when some of your small cap alts start seeing some big gains, at what point do you start to take profit? At 2x, 4x, or do you tend to hold until they hit bigger multiples? Good question. So, when do we take profit? Let's begin with Bill.
Okay, frequently, especially when someone calls in with some granularity, they've already answered their question, right? If you have a 2x and you can pull out your initial investment, then you're playing with the market. So that should give you some peace of mind. I think the best way is to continue to pay yourself as it goes up and keep what our internal guys call a moon bag. I think the only reason that you would not sell is if your trade location is so unbelievable, like you bought it for 3 cents and it's now at $15, that you can afford to stomach any volatility that comes. Generally speaking, if you did a good trade, pay yourself. This whole idea of I can't sell or I'm afraid to sell usually appears at tops, right? Fortunes are made by buying low and selling too early. Not all of it, but some of it. So try to keep that in mind when you've got big money on the table.
All right, thank you, Bill. Forrest, how about you?
Yeah, 100% agree there. I like getting my initial investment out when it makes sense to do so, whether that's at a 2x or a 4x. If there's a lot of momentum behind it, maybe I let it run a little bit longer. But I like to get my initial investment out so that I can free roll with house money. But also, just because you're taking profits on a small cap altcoin doesn't mean if you're bullish on the overall market, doesn't mean you have to take it out into US dollars or Pax G. You can, if you speculated on a small cap altcoin, you can take your profits and move that to ETH. And if you think the market's bullish on ETH, you've taken profits out, and now you've got like what Bill referred to as a moon bag, but you're still in crypto. If you still want exposure to the market, and if you're still bullish on Ethereum, or you can move it to Bitcoin, whatever you're bullish on. That's maybe a larger cap coin. So just because you're taking profits doesn't mean you necessarily have to move it to US dollars or a stable coin immediately and lock that money out of the market if you're still bullish on the state of the market.
All right, thank you, Forrest. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think if you're beginning out and you're early on and you have 2, 4x or anything higher than that, always look to take out your initial investment. And I think the fact that you're asking the question already tells you the answer, that you're thinking about taking the money, and as Bill mentioned, pay yourself. But I also think it depends on where you are in your investment journey. If you're starting out with small amounts of capital, you want to build up very quickly, but you also want to move fast. But however, if you've kind of already made your money in crypto, meaning that maybe you've been around since 2017 and you have a large portfolio and you don't really need the money, and this is a super long-term investment, meaning that several years, you can really hodl, right? I mean, because imagine in Bitcoin, right? So imagine, to me, it's very conflicting. So because when I was early on, I was flipping ICOs so quickly, so fast. But now I would say I'm comfortable where, as Bill mentioned, I can stomach the volatility because I'm not, one, investing with rent money, and two, I already have a comfortable life, right? So I think if everything varies depending on your life circumstance of where you are right now, right? So for example, with Helium, I can personally stomach the volatility, as Bill mentioned, because we were in that under 20 cents, and now it's at $17, and it's about 100x. So to me, Helium could go down to $10, and I'm not really selling. Plus, it's one of the few coins in my portfolio where I really have a long-term mindset, because I think this can get very, very big, right? Now, would I do that for every altcoin in my portfolio? Hell no. However, I think if you have something that's super long-term, meaning that several years, like let's say you believe one particular altcoin in your portfolio could be the next Bitcoin, the next Ethereum, the next Chainlink,
and you're willing to stomach volatility, you're willing to stomach it dropping 90% and just buy more, right? Then I think in that case it's fine. But I think the fact that you're asking this question, that kind of tells us where you are right now. I think it probably makes more sense to, at least for me, for me myself, if I was asking that same question, I'll take profits. I'll take out my initial based on that question. But thank you for that. So let's continue. Okay, so lots of strategy, or I guess psyche-based questions. As an investor, how to deal with emotional attachment with projects. For example, Ethereum, Helium, yet slow moving versus projects which surely know will 100x or 1000x fast. Should we cut loose the projects and move on? I think this is similar to the other question. But first, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so it sounds like they're saying Ethereum and Helium are slow moving. Helium seems very fast moving.
No, I mean, so basically, here, I'll just rephrase the question to make it easier. So if somebody has, basically the question is, how do you deal with FOMO, right? If you're holding something and it's not moving fast, while other projects are doing 100x's, right? And they're just kind of zagging by, right? Should the person cut their losses and move on, or should they stay in that project?
Gotcha. Okay, so that's going to come down to a little bit of how you structure your portfolio, right? You might want to allocate a certain amount of your portfolio to, be more flexible with. But as far as the underlying investment, if it's not moving for you, but nothing's changed, and I'm echoing, something I've heard Ian talk about as a value investor, if nothing about the project has changed and the reason you invested hasn't changed, then why change? I mean, one of those projects that really hasn't moved a lot for me is Nano, but I still have a large allocation towards it because I genuinely believe in the fundamentals, and the fact that it might be undervalued is because it's in the digital cash space. It hasn't been performing phenomenally. It's been keeping up with the market, but it hasn't been keeping, it hasn't been exploding or anything when these other cryptocurrencies are 10xing. And yeah, that's hard to watch, but the reason I invested in that cryptocurrency hasn't changed. And it's a set allocation to my portfolio. So I'm not going all in on one project. So I'm not, I'm missing out on some gains potentially in the short term, but it's all going to average out in the end. It all comes out based on how you allocate your portfolio. But I'd say if the reason you invested hasn't changed and you still believe in the fundamentals behind the project, then to me, as a long-term investor, there's no reason to necessarily cut it and FOMO into something else. Because what would make you feel really bad is if you held a project for a really long time because you believed in it, and then you cut it to go into something else, and then it takes off. And you were right all along, but you just weren't patient enough.
That's the worst. That's the worst. All right, Bill, what do you think?
Everybody thinks bull markets are an unending party where, you're wearing a lampshade on your head. You're having such a good time. That's actually not true. Bull markets test you. Okay. They either make you feel like you've missed out or they bore you to tears. So if you're asking yourself, should I go chase 100x coin? That 100x coin has probably topped. And the person selling it to you was someone who sat there and was bored to tears for years waiting for their day. That's what I tell myself when I go, oh, gee, I missed that. And then I say, wait, there's somebody out there who waited, synthetics, Aave, etc. So if you believe in something and you're holding it because you believe in it, try to think of it this way. You see something and you're waiting for the market to catch up to you. You want the market to catch up to you. You don't want to be a dog on a street corner that every time a car comes by, you chase it, right? You're like, oh, what was that? No. You want to stay with what you believe in and let the market validate your theory, right? That doesn't mean you can't keep an eye on what's new because we help you with that. But if you're a believer, right, and you want to say, in equities, they're always talking about, I don't know, financial planning, 401k, have a plan for the future. In crypto, oh, the future was, okay, 5 minutes ago. No. All right. So if you believe in it, stay with it.
Totally on point, Bill. So my perspective, I think, is I totally get it, right? So basically, you're seeing all these other projects do 10x, 50x's, even 100x's, but maybe there's one or a couple or even more altcoins in your portfolio that aren't doing anything. If anything, actually losing money. So you have to really ask yourself, what are you trying to do, right? And I think about your goals in crypto as an investor. Are you thinking about just trading, speculating, and having quick flips? If you're just trying to do quick flips, then by all means, get out, right? So if something's not moving fast, get out, right? But understand that what you're investing in is a game of musical chairs, right? If you're playing that game, because when the music stops, you'll get wrecked, right? Because just go back in 2017 and look at the ICO bull run, and then once the party was over, everything dropped 95 to 99%. Some coins went to zero, right? So for me in 2017, I basically learned my lesson. So for example, projects like Wabi at the peak did like a 141x. Let me actually pull up Wabi now. Wabi, I don't think is anywhere close to that, right? So one thing you learn is in bull markets, everything goes up. But what you really want to invest in is something that will be around after a bear market, right? So Wabi right now, market cap, 44 million, right? So it is doing well now, actually, yeah. So it is doing well now. It's up almost 9x in the last 1 year, right? But the all-time high was $5.31. Right now it's at 75 cents. So it has not gone back to its all-time high. I mean, hey, I made a lot of money on Wabi. I mean, a lot of money. However, I don't own any Wabi anymore, right? It was basically speculation, pure speculation. What I really learned from is making a 100x investment is amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? But the real money in crypto, if you're willing to be patient, is finding projects that will bounce back after a bear market, because that's when you get the 1000x returns. And best example is Binance, BNB, right? Imagine because when Binance launched, if we go all the way to the beginning, right? They had the ICO in 2017. It began trading at 10 cents. Binance is currently at almost 350, right? So if we go here to the return from the all-time low, Binance is a almost 9,000x return, right? So 8,700x return. So the question is, do you want a 100x return, or do you want an 8,000x return? When you frame it in that perspective, it will totally shift how you invest, right? Because yes, people are doing quick flips on those altcoins, hence shitcoins, basically. But the question is, will these projects be around 3 years from now? And the answer to, I would say, over 90% of them is no, right? So when you see that, at least for me, it makes me even more patient, right? So that's why when I'm investing now, I'm not investing for 100x. I'm investing for 1,000x, 5,000x, because that's where you really make generational wealth. And I think you basically just have to capture just one huge win, one home run, one walk-off grand slam home run. If you do that every market cycle, you'll be set for life, right? Because people are trying to chase the shiny object every month, every quarter. But when the music stops, you will get wrecked. And for me, I learned that lesson because in 2017, I was in the private sale of Chainlink, right? So not even the ICO, the private sale. We were one of the first investors in Chainlink, and I sold Chainlink at around 5 or 10x, I forget, right? But basically around that range. And I thought that was good. But looking back, imagine if I held Chainlink, because now Chainlink is, let's go all the way back. Right? So Chainlink launched at around 20 cents. 18, 20 cents. Now it's at $30, right? So I got out at 5 or 10x looking here at the all-time low. So Chainlink has done over a 200x return, right? So for me, that's the mindset I have. I'm trying to find those large winners because Chainlink was a great investment because if you compare this to Wabi still has not bounced back, right? So when you're investing, ask yourself this. If you pick an investment and let's say we enter a 2 or 3 year bear market, will this project bounce back and then go past this all-time high from the prior bull market? If you don't think so, then you're basically just chasing hype. You're basically just FOMOing into every project, which is fine. Basically, don't have any emotions. Just get in, get out very quickly. But if you think this is a project that has long-term staying power, then you have to be willing to weather the storm. Because how many times has Chainlink crashed, right? Pretty much every project crashed in the last bear market. Now, going back to your question in terms of emotions and should you cut your losses? So for me personally, it takes a long time for me to cut my losses, but always look at the projects that aren't doing well and try to find out why they're not doing well. Right. So for example, one project that's not really doing well for me has been Tornado Cash. So if we pull that up here, this is not really doing anywhere close to where I thought it was doing. Oh wow, guess it's up. So I got into this around $210. I'm basically down 50% on the investment. But I've been going into their community and really just trying to figure out what's going on. And really what I've discovered is their tokenomics are not the best, right? Their token utility needs upgrading, right? So what I'm looking at now is looking at their governance proposals to see, are there any possible improvements coming to add more utility to the token, or is this just a dead token, right? So for me, I'm not fully out of this yet. But I'm now beginning to really get involved and try to see whether or not I should reassess my investment and take that loss. One other one is Armor. So that one I was down on for a while, but now it's bounced back, right? I saw that I think Tika Tiwari basically pumped this by putting this in his, I think, 5 coins to 5 million newsletter for this year, and now it's bounced back. But this is a project I've been bullish on. I've been using this myself to ensure my wallets on Ethereum. So going back to your question, it all depends on what you're doing, but you have to have perspective. So hope that helps. Okay, now let's go on to the next question. Will audio still do well at all? Okay, let's have Forrest answer this one first.
I believe so. So there's been some questions in the chat as to when are the supply, the extra supply of the tokens vesting for the investors and the team. I believe that's April 23rd. April 23rd is when the supply will increase. Not entirely sure by how much, but it is a significant amount of tokens. So I do plan to hold. I mean, it just had a 300 or 400% rally from when we first started talking about it. Went from like $1, $1.50 all the way up to $5, I believe it peaked at. Now it's just in a 40% correction down to $3. So I'm still holding. I did take some profits on it, but I'm holding until for another potential rally. And if it rallies past $5 or $6, I'll take out some money. And actually look to probably rebuy once the supply comes and hits April 23rd. This is one that I want to accumulate for the long term because I really do believe in it.
Bill, what do you think about Audius?
Yeah, this is the next narrative. I've had another one of our analysts check into this. iTunes, when Apple first released iTunes, Apple was worth about $8 billion. Early on in its valuation process, Spotify was worth about $8 billion. Audius obviously is nowhere near that, but could become that. So, I know there's supply coming. I know it's corrective. I know that things in this space are really stretched out. But I do believe that either this coin or something in this space, like our advertisement at the start of our show said, there is a new Netflix or FANG stock out there. This could be one of them.
All right. Thank you, Bill. So I agree as well. I mean, Audius to me is one of those projects where I think when there's a bear market, if anything, I would probably try to buy some more because I think it's going to bounce back, right? So all these other altcoins, people are making 10x's, 50x's. That's great money. But once the musical chair stops, I think they have weak foundations. Audius to me, I think, will be one of those projects that will really bounce back. I have kind of compared them to being possibly the next Helium. Not sure about that quite yet, but I'm very, very bullish on it, and I'm hoping that actually there's a pullback so I can buy some more. So yeah, basically, I think we're all pretty bullish on it long term. Okay, going on to the next question here. Okay, hold on. Sorry, give me 1 sec. Okay, what are your top 5 coins? All right, very popular question, but always a fair question and a good question. Let's begin with Forrest. What are your top 5 coins?
Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much asking me what are the top 5 coins that I'm invested in, because why would I allocate my money to my not top 5 coins, right? So my top 5 coins are Polkadot, Nano, Ethereum, Audio, which is Audius, and probably a split on the last one between Chainlink and Cardano.
All right. How about you, Bill?
Okay, well, I have I have perp because I just can't resist the future of derivatives. I've got an absolute small cap tech play, Siren SI. It's an options play. It came out of our code review group. I'm sure you would not be surprised that I've got positions in Dash and Litecoin, as well as Bitcoin and ETH.
Now, would those be your top 5? Like you really love Dash and Litecoin?
Right. In other words, I would go perp, ETH, Dash, Litecoin, say Siren. That's my top 5.
All right. Great list. So top 5, Ethereum, Helium Network, Matic / Polygon. I would say Audius. And the 5th one, that one is it's tough. I think I would likely go with wow. I guess it depends, right? Because top 5 coins in terms of projects I like the best, because there's some projects that I think are top 5, but I don't hold enough of them because maybe I missed them. So because I think Uniswap is up there. I wish I bought more, right? But I think they're crushing it. I'll basically make a top 10. What projects I do like? I like Siren. Let me actually pull that up here. Well, actually, Armor as well. I like Armor as well. Let me just give me 1 second. I mean, honestly, Armor, this I love. I'm basically in love with this. I think this has Helium potential. I think it's so underrated, and it's so simple. Getting insurance on your entire wallet and making it super, super easy. Like, plus with them bouncing back, because I've made at this point over 18 grand, almost 20 grand in the last 2 months just farming this. Plus, this is such a steal in my opinion because they're paying you to get insurance. I mean, just think about that. They're literally paying you. They paid me almost 2 grand in the last month or so. I would say less than a month just to get insurance on my crypto wallet. I mean, it just boggles the mind. Plus, let me see if I can actually pull up their site here. But to me, this I think is going to be a 10x investment, maybe more, because the use case is practical. Same thing with Helium. Helium Network, sharing your Wi-Fi was so practical that it just made sense. So if you go here, let me actually log in, right? So this is the smart cover system. This is one of my wallets. So you just come here and it will go through, scan your entire Ethereum-based wallet, and you can just, with 1 click, get insurance on the entire wallet, right? So looking at this, the APY right now is 251%, right? So I've earned, just for insuring my wallet, right, basically 1,700, right? So if we go to the current price of Armor, so this times 118, yeah, so 2,081. They've paid me $2,000 at current prices to get insurance on my crypto, right? Now, to be fair, I am paying ETH, right? I spent half an ETH, 0.5 ETH. So basically, so they're charging me one grand basically per month to get insurance, right? So I'm spending $1,000 in Ethereum, then they're paying me back $2,000, right? So to me, this is kind of like with Helium, how you would buy a hotspot for under $500, and within the first 2 months, you basically recouped your investment and then some. Right? So to me, this has the same practicality, because if this price keeps on going up, let's say it goes up to $2, right? To me, this is a steal. Plus, they're staking. If you go to staking here, let me pull this up here. Just give me 1 second. Actually, sorry. If you go to liquidity rewards, so if we go to Armor and go to ETH pair, so the APY on this is higher as well. So 147%, 165 on Uniswap or SushiSwap. So just adding this up, this is almost 9,000. This is 10,000. So basically almost $20,000 in about 2 months just for providing liquidity. And I think this can 10x. So to me, I'd actually put Armor in the top 5. So especially for low cap coins. That's pretty much my list. Anybody with any comments or thoughts? No? Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the next one. But great question. Great question. Okay, thoughts on ICP. Okay, I don't think I've heard of this. Has anybody heard of this project?
Nope.
I have not.
Okay, could you check this for TA, Bill?
Sure.
ICP. Internet computer. Actually, I think I did hear about this. I think we might have looked into this a while back. Let me double check. So it's here, smart contract platform. Okay, so they're building on Definity. It looks like. Is this Definity? Did they rebrand or something? Is there something I missed here?
I'm having trouble finding it.
Okay, so let's check the comments. Maybe somebody could add more clarification.
It comes up as Definity.
Okay, yeah, King Lex says that's Definity. So I guess, was there a rebrand or something? So Definity, I think, has been pumping recently. I saw comments or speculation that I think Vitalik said Definity is the closest competitor to Ethereum that I think scares him the most, which is actually means a lot. Okay, so King Lex says they haven't launched yet, but only IOUs are trading. Yeah, so Dragon Ball Crypto says yes, they did rebrand. I mean, that's quite the rebrand. I mean, internet computer. That's great marketing. I mean, dead simple. So I guess Definity. So let's, if you could pull that up, Bill, on your end. Let me see if we have this on Token Metrics. Now, I think we did a code review on this a while back, and they scored, I think, around a 75, but that was almost 1 year ago, right? So I would assume there's been lots of changes since then. Looking at this from what we currently have on the site, which is for Definity, so I'm not sure if this is just the IAU, but our visual trends indicator is bullish on this since January at around $16. And if we go to the high frequency indicator, I would assume that this is also still bullish. Yep, so this is still bullish since $34.
Looks like there's a $103 billion fully diluted market cap on it so far.
100 billion, you said?
Yeah, $103 billion fully diluted, according to CoinMarketCap.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay, so this to me, this is Definity. It's like a 1 hour chart. I don't know. This looks like a pretty clean uptrend to me, right? In other words, people FOMO'd in here. It corrects to like the 50% retracement right here, and then buyers come back in. So it looks like buyers are coming in. They have control of the market, and they want it on dips.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Okay. All right. Let's go on to the next question. Ian, do you really have no Bitcoin at all? Yes, I have no Bitcoin in my portfolio. I'm willing to take that bet. I mean, because Bitcoin to me is almost like a stable coin. Plus, I think Ethereum will replace Bitcoin eventually, long term, as a store of value. And I think, especially what's happening with Ethereum now possibly becoming even more scarce than Bitcoin, with the EIP happening this summer, Ethereum can become more scarce than Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin to me is, like, honestly, like, no offense, it's a lazy investment. It's a lazy person's trade. Somebody who is late to the game, late to the party, but still wants to be in crypto. Somebody who's risk averse, right? For me, I'm in crypto to make money. Plus, I have a very high appetite for risk. So I'm willing to take large bets and be early, right? I mean, that's why I was known as the altcoin guy back in 2017, even to now, right? And I'm not really lost that. If anything, now I just have a different approach because I'm willing to hold longer, and I'm willing to wait for something to happen because I'm willing to take the perspective of being somebody on an island, waiting for the market to figure out that this is the next big island where you can develop and build everything, right? So to me, Ethereum is the future. I've kind of mentioned this before. We even posted a video last week. Pretty much Bitcoin is digital gold. Ethereum to me is the next internet. So I would rather invest in Web3, the next internet, as a cryptocurrency than buying gold, especially in a bull market. Plus, we're in a bull market. So to me, Bitcoin only makes sense, honestly, in a bear market because every investor's goal is to outperform Bitcoin, right? That's why people trade and invest in altcoins. So how are you going to outperform Bitcoin in the bull market when Bitcoin typically doesn't go up as high, right? If we're in a bear market when anything's crashing, I would likely have Bitcoin, right? Because I'd likely sell any alts I don't believe in long term for Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin is more stable. So I'll do that or go straight to stable coins. But to me, in a bull market, your goal is to do better than Bitcoin. And it's very hard to do that if you're holding Bitcoin. Plus, you would have made more money holding Ethereum in the last 1 year than Bitcoin, right? So technically, my position has proved correct for me, right? I made more money holding Ethereum than Bitcoin, right? Plus, I think Ethereum is more undervalued than Bitcoin. So why would I change, right? But that's my take on it. I know it's not the norm. I'm not saying everybody should do that, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Now, first, I think you also sold your Bitcoin as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have almost zero Bitcoin. I've got, dust left over from certain exchanges or maybe like exchange sign up bonuses from a while ago that have just kind of grown. I think I've got like $1,000 in Bitcoin. Pretty much nothing. Ditto everything Ian just said as to why, as well as the volatility of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's the oldest cryptocurrency. The volatility each cycle for Bitcoin is decreasing. So that means there's younger cryptocurrencies that are still in price exploration that have higher volatilities. And while they may have 95% corrections in a bear market, as opposed to Bitcoin's 84% correction or 80% correction, and to be honest, in terms of a bear market, when you get above a 60-70% correction, it's all pretty painful. What's the difference in waiting from 80% to 95%? There's other cryptocurrencies that have higher upside, higher volatility, as well as just where we're at in the market. If I could share my screen for just a moment, I'll just look at altcoin dominance. This is just altcoin dominance versus Bitcoin. And I use this trend line. And if we get into a position where altcoin dominance does bubble up, and basically Bitcoin dominance is the inverse of this. So that would mean that altcoins, if we bubble up like we did back in 2017 and 2018 in the altcoin alt season, if we bubble up, then altcoins will be overvalued and Bitcoin would be potentially undervalued, because here, Bitcoin dominance at the top here dropped to less than 40%. So if we were to see that again, then yes, I would probably try to pick up some Bitcoin with my altcoin gains at the top of an alt season rally where altcoins are overvalued against Bitcoin. Then you can actually pick up a lot of Bitcoin for your money, and then potentially, like Ian mentioned, own some Bitcoin in a bear market.
So right, Bill. Any thoughts?
Okay, well, we are the quintessential ETH maximalists for all the reasons that we just talked about. ETH is the future of finance, not just lending, but the entire 500-page finance textbook, all of it. Now, with Bitcoin in the short term, I'll use Ian's theme about, what you do with small coins that you can maybe hold it for a trade. I'm sort of wondering if Bitcoin doesn't have it in it, like a $10,000 pop, and then you're out and over to Ethereum. Maybe. Go ahead.
I will mention that Bitcoin's usually a pretty good hold at the beginning of a bear market, because usually Bitcoin leads the charge and altcoins kind of lag behind. So if you can get that initial pop after the Bitcoin halving and then move into altcoins that are really undervalued against Bitcoin, that can be a pretty profitable trade to make.
All right. Bill, were you done, or do you have more?
Yeah, I think you hold Bitcoin for like a trade. I'm just seeing if like the Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash complex can pop. And then, if I'm right, guess where I'm going? ETH, Audius, Perp, the stuff where, we're not shilling it, things that we've done research on. So Bitcoin is something that helps you get more ETH from time to time.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Okay, so next question. Top 5 short-term trades for April. Potential 10Xs. Well, I would say for top 5, just go to token metrics, right? So we have the quant grade, which goes through, I would probably just go through, let's take a look here. So for April, if we go to the ratings page, and if we switch to trader and go to monthly, it will go through and find projects it likes for the next month. Now, however, these aren't really 10x projects. I feel like for 10x's, you have to get into something super micro cap, or basically do those IDOs. But those are really just pump and dumps. If you're looking for actual trades, 10x's are not really realistic in my opinion, unless maybe you're using leverage, which I personally avoid. But our quant grade still likes Terra. But the rest are just basically stable coins, right? And then Bitcoin. Maybe the DeFi Pulse Index, but the grades are pretty low versus where they've relatively been. Forrest, do you have any top 10 or top 5 trades you're looking at this month?
Not in this short of a time frame. I did take a trade, I guess, in late March. The timing of it, if you section off to just April, not really, not particularly any reason, just particularly for April. But I did take a long position in Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Polkadot recently. My Ethereum long was at $1,600. My Bitcoin long was at $53,750. Because those were key levels. And then my Polkadot long was because I felt like Polkadot was undervalued against Kusama. Kusama diverged and went on a big rally due to some of the news in the Kusama Polkadot sphere where parachain auctions are coming up quickly for Kusama. And Kusama rallied really, really high. Polkadot had just kind of gone sideways, even dipped a little. I just thought that Polkadot was due for a rally, and it's been up. It's been pumping a little bit, but those were my 3 most recent trades that I'm actually still in. I'm still long on those.
All right, Bill, do you have any trades you like for this month?
You know what I want this month? I want the DYDX token. I want to get on that exchange. They've got what looks like leverage for American traders. So if we're talking about ETH going much higher, I'm actually looking at, possibly using Celsius, to get extra DAI so I can get over to DYDX, possibly get a levered long ETH. In other words, if ETH starts rising, I can possibly get, add leverage and then possibly do enough trading to get the DYDX token when it happens. Because I think in terms of the ignition of this whole space, like Perp or Siren or D-Hedge or any of these like really smaller plays that we're looking at. I mean, Perp hit Binance, but this whole like future of trading, future of Wall Street, what's the whole space worth? I think has got a lot of room to expand, right? It's kind of like my version of what Forrest was talking about with like decentralized content. The cryptoverse is going to come knocking on Wall Street's door as a part of Web3. So, I want the Easter Bunny to bring me DYDX.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a trader myself, so I don't really have any short-term trades because everything to me is long-term. So I'm not really the best person to help answer that question. So I would just use token metrics. Okay. All right. Thank you for that question. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, so let me bring this up full screen. Ian, would you still buy helium at these prices? And what's your price prediction this bull run? I've been waiting for a dip that never came. Would I still buy? Currently, I'm not buying anymore because I have enough to run a node. That's something I plan to look more into. I mean, unless I was trying to run multiple nodes because you have to have 10,000 HNT per node. So no plans right now, but I have been buying on the way up, right? So first of all, I've been mining it with the device, which I think is the best way to go. I saw recently that I think Rack Miner announced that they've shipped over 20,000 devices, which is incredible. I think the best way to do it is to mine it. Buying it, you might be kind of late. I'll probably wait for a possible correction, but honestly, I don't really see a correction coming or anything. I don't see any long-term correction coming, right? Because just think about this. If we go to network.helium, because last time we covered this last week, they had, I believe, 24,000 hotspots. No, actually, I think it was about 3 or 4 days ago. They had 24,000 hotspots, but I mean, this is literally going viral, right? Like this is the definition of Metcalfe's law. They're now at 25,000 hotspots. Plus, Rack Miner just announced that they've shipped 20,000 hotspots, right? Because people are ordering these devices, and right now they're in the US and Europe, and they've just begun shipping the first devices in Asia, right? So, I mean, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to, oh, wow. So they already have devices in Asia, right? I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out that there are 1 billion people in China, that Asia's pretty huge, right? So the definition of a network is that the more nodes or the more devices or connections you add, it grows exponentially, right? So it's not linear growth, it's exponential growth. So picture this as the internet. So if anything, this is going to get bigger and bigger exponentially. And the utilities, so I think this is, honestly, I don't see how this has a correction long term. I mean, even in a bear market, I really think this is going to do well. I think it's going to be kind of like Chainlink back in the last bear market. So would I buy now? Probably not. But if I didn't have any helium, not financial advice, but I would likely buy some, especially if the devices are taking a long time to arrive. But you have to have the perspective that this is super long term, right? So what is my prediction for this bull run? I've always stated that I believe helium should be a top 20, top 30 market cap project, because if we go now, it's basically 85, so it's been rising. So right now it's passed over $1 billion in market cap, 1.2 billion. So at basically $16, if we go to top 20, let's say top 30, right? So it has to go to 4.2 billion. So let's say basically a 4x. So we're looking at, I would say my target would be around $40, basically $40, $50 for helium. So the question would be, if you're comfortable with a 4x return, I mean, I'll treat it as pretty much a large cap investment, right? So if you have a portfolio, and let's say you have Bitcoin or Ethereum, then you have some large caps. If you view it in that perspective, I think it makes more sense to have helium than maybe a large cap like Uniswap, Chainlink. Polkadot is still very good, right? But I'll put it in that category. Anybody with any comments, Bill, or to add on to that?
Sure. So bull markets play tricks with your mind, right? If you say to yourself, oh, I missed it, I can't possibly buy it because as soon as I buy it, it'll go down. Or I just can't buy it, I'm too scared. It's probably going higher. Matter of fact, it's probably going a lot higher, right? When you're wearing a lampshade on your head and it's easy to buy it, then you should sell. But right now in helium, I think you have to break it down into like who's doing the buying and the selling, right? Crypto hedge funds probably have to get involved just because it's becoming like the top 50 coin, right? Who's selling? A guy mining it out of his apartment, sharing internet with scooters. I mean, is he going to push the market down? No. Then there are the guys that have to own nodes, right? I mean, everyone, like, remember what I was talking about earlier where, the market catches up with the thesis that you had, like this could be the internet in 5 years, particularly if there's continued economic disruption. So, I mean, do you have to run out and chase helium right this second? No. Is BTFD in effect? Probably, yeah. Right? Because, I mean, I see these candles on the chart. I mean, I see every time it tries to rush up to 19, which is where the resistance is, people freak out and sell. It's pulling up short of where you would think it would be. So I guess if I'm going to talk about the chart, I should pull up the chart. And I actually think I've been watching this, and I honestly think it's fascinating, right? Everybody wants to sell or is too afraid to buy. So here's helium, and there's the resistance up here at 19, the bright green line. Okay, and there's everyone selling in front of 19. So I'm obviously not the only drawing this. Now, what happens normally when a market pulls up short of a support or resistance point? It'll gather itself and then it'll blow through it, right? So when you see helium at 21, that may be the point where people go, okay, yeah, this really is going to 50. And that actually might be the point to take profits. But right now, this looks like people are scared. And if people are scared to buy it, it goes higher. I realize that kind of makes me sound like a jerk, but bull markets and bear markets both have their degree of difficulty, right? You just have to keep your head clear whether it's going up or it's not. Because I know that there are a lot of people listening to the show going, I just got here. How do I get involved? I missed this. Scotty, beam me off the planet. I screwed up. No, 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 no. There are always trades. You know, we do this show for 2 hours every Sunday until we're exhausted. There's plenty to talk about in crypto.
So actually, I want to pull up something real quick. Just give me 1 second. Because I mean, helium is basically becoming the trade of the cycle for us. Let me pull this up here. Because I mean, if you're a customer and you got our report from last year, so basically, if you're with us early on, let me bring up my screen here. I think this is why we love what we do, right? So this is an investment report we shared with Token Metrics customers early last year, basically about 12 months ago. And this is almost 40 pages investment report on helium that our team went through and covered on this. Let me go all the way to the end, right? Because you really just need literally just one big investment, right? So if we go here, this was our analysis, right? So to sum it up, we basically said buying this device for about $400, right? You're earning back then, depending on where you were, about 5 tokens a day. We covered this at 22 cents, right? And we said we were very, very bullish on this. And our projection was that this could be a 100x project, right? And I think this was about 12 months ago to our customers. And as Bill just mentioned on the TA, right? Helium now, from that report to where it is, once it goes to $22, it would officially be a 100x return after that analysis. So, I mean, obviously we're all very happy, but we're even more happy for our customers who are making, I mean, first of all, passive money just mining this, but those who also bought the dip or who actually bought some on exchanges back then at this current level, probably too high, but back then, I mean, as we like to say here at Token Metrics,
we just landed on the moon in the Lambo.
All right, we always want to make sure we just enjoy the 100x returns, right? Because I think this is, I mean, I'm basically now beginning to become a broken record, right? I think this is different from other 100x's because this has actual long-term staying power, right? So for those who follow me on Instagram, I talked about at current prices for helium, I've made about $6,000 this month just passively mining helium with just one device here in Austin. Austin actually is a good place to mine helium, plus the big antenna, right? Which pretty much doubles the amount of rewards you have. But one cool thing I did want to share this. So we shared this with our customers in the private alerts channel in the pro plan. So there's this cool website. Actually, it's the Helium website. It's explore.helium.com/hotspots. You can go here and it will actually show you what are the best cities to mine helium. So if you want to check what, sorry, just give me 1 second. If you want to check where you are and see what's the best place to mine helium, there's now a dashboard that shows this, right? So to my surprise, Chicago is number 1. Let me actually zoom in here. So if you're in Chicago, you should be printing money. So Chicago, surprisingly Brooklyn. Brooklyn has more hotspots than New York, followed by San Francisco, Denver, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, London, Philadelphia, and Austin, where I'm based. So Austin is number 10. So, I mean, London is on the rise. So definitely come here, go to your region. Let's go to the next page here. So next, surprisingly, Modesto, California, San Diego, Queens, Toronto, Berlin. So it's getting more international. And as we mentioned, Asia is now beginning to mine as well. So once again, definitely check this page out, explore.helium.com/hotspots. But yeah, so hope that helps. Okay, all right. Okay, I think let's wrap things up there. Let's take one last questions from the comments. I know there's somebody who kept on asking. Sorry, just give me 1 second here. Okay. Okay. Wow. Appreciate that. I hear says this channel has made me a ton of money. Everyone wants predictions. Sign up for Token Metrics. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Let's see what else. I'm trying to find a good question here. There's a question. Somebody kept on asking a question throughout the beginning of the stream, but I can't find the question now. Do you guys recall somebody was asking? Somebody was saying it was their first time. Okay, here we go. You Ken. We finally got you, Ken. This is my first time here. I'm hoping you will answer my question. What are your thoughts on student coin, STC? Okay, I haven't heard of this before, but we'll pull this up. My first initial impressions are, does that need a coin? But let's check it out and see if there's anything here for us to look into. And then Bill, let me know if there's any TA available for that.
STC?
Yes, student coin, STC. So it's not on CoinGecko, so don't really think if it's not on CoinGecko yet, I don't think it makes any sense really covering it, unfortunately, because I don't think it's going to be on any TA website.
Yeah, I think we should take a pass on that. I've got an STC symbol, but I don't know what it is. So,
okay, let's 1inch exchange.
Okay.
Okay, so 1inch is coming up. And if you're enjoying the stream, please smash the like button, subscribe, put on alerts, share this video with your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend that Token Metrics is live and this was the stream. And not being in crypto is a financial crime. Okay.
Okay, right. Here comes 1inch. All right, so we did this for the market update, and I'd be happy to do it again. So what is 1inch exchange? It helps aggregate DEXs. Galaxy Digital's behind them. I use it. I like it. 1inch has been just sort of going sideways. Everybody seems to think that the whole DEX play is played out. I do not think so. 1inch has bored everyone to tears. This is very much akin to what Polkadot and Synthetics did to people. Polkadot hung around at $4 while Kraken paid you 12% to be involved. Our low frequency indicator, which, by the way, if you're new, this is one of the best ways to get some sort of visual understanding about where a coin is in its market cycle. One thing you'll notice is that recently there was a bullish sign in this moving average based system, meaning it's possible that 1inch could wake up, Uniswap could wake up, Coinbase could IPO, and there's DYDX, which frankly I'm drooling over because, again, people are going to want to speculate if the market continues to go up. I know there's people out there who are on Coinbase. I know my brother's going to call me one day and say, what's MetaMask? How do I trade on Uniswap? It's going to happen. And I think when legacy investors come to crypto, they're going to go to 1inch because it's an interface. You can download it on Mac. It'll make sense to them.
All right. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. Okay. All right. So time for us to wrap things up here. So if you enjoyed the stream, once again, smash the like button, subscribe, put on alerts, and definitely check out the visual trends indicator. Once again, we have trials available for a week for anywhere between $2 to $5. So very, very easy, especially in a bull run, especially if you want to, one, use the visual trends indicator, or two, get our daily newsletter. So if you want to get reports like Helium Network, like we shared with our customers, definitely join. So Bill, any last words to our audience?
Yes. Be prepared for something surprising. Bull markets lull people to sleep. Bull markets make you think you know what's going on, and then there's a surprise. Now, what is that surprise? Well, my guess is that digital cash takes off and then ETH follows. Either that or it's polka dot moons and then ETH follows in a very big way. Regardless of whether I'm right, you want to be able to move quickly, right? Be flexible in your thinking.
All right, thank you, Bill. Let's go to Forrest. Any last words?
Yeah, it seems like we got a lot of questions about the two types of questions tonight. One, why isn't the coin that I'm in mooning, and why are other or should I FOMO into these coins that are already mooning? And I think the best thing that I could say to address that is patience. Patience and making good decisions. If you're investing in solid projects, or at least you have a plan, even if you're trading and looking for quick flips and you have a plan, stick to that plan and just be patient. It's not, it's not always easy. And sometimes like Bill said, the market will lull you to sleep. 1 inch will go sideways in a 30 to 40% correction for 2 months, but then it explodes. And would you rather be in it right now? Or would you rather be asking yourself, should I FOMO into 1 inch at $20 when it's, exploded from $4? So I guess the theme that I'm driving home is patience.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Forrest. So my last words are, I would say perspective. You have to have perspective. Know what you're doing. So if you're just flipping altcoins and just basically speculating, know that, but also understand the risks of that. Manage that risk. So me personally, I don't do that. But if I did, I would not put more than 1% into all these pump and dump coins, right? So if you want to FOMO into anything, have perspective, but know that you can get wrecked, right? So manage the risk. Then also have perspective. To me, the real money, as shown with Binance versus Wabi, I mean, yes, there'll be 100x's this market cycle. But if you want to have 8,000x returns, I mean, you have to really do the actual research, the actual analysis, find real projects that will be around for a lifetime, right? So if you have the perspective of, am I in this for quick flips for a month, or am I in this for a lifetime? Because when you're in this for a lifetime and you find projects like Binance or the next Binance, right, whether it's Ethereum or Polkadot or Helium or any other project, it gives you perspective to be patient. Because being patient for a 10x might be tough, right? Being patient for an 8,000x return investment, I mean, I'll take that anytime, right? Because having that perspective that you can make even more money not chasing the pump and dumps, I mean, that's bliss to me. That's blissful, right? That's bliss. So that being said, thank you, everybody. We appreciate all the input, all the feedback. Be sure to subscribe, right? I think most of you, well, not most of you, I think a good amount of our audience is watching this on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, right? Or on my personal YouTube. We highly encourage you to join us on the Token Metrics YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/tokenmetrics. We post daily videos there, so you're definitely missing out if you aren't watching this there. With that being said, as we like to say,
We just landed on the moon in the Lambo.
the moon is not the limit to the moon and beyond. Thank you, everybody. See you next week.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
Bill. Thank you, Forrest.
Thank you.